Hey everyone, welcome to another live stream of the Cats and Rats. We're here previewing the Detroit Red Wings and Buffalo Sabres tonight. I'm your host, Kirby Lupo, joined alongside, as always, my co-host, Cody Stevens and Nick Levine. We're here, joined by Lou Gamelin here today. You've heard his voice before over on our Twitter Spaces side, if you've joined us over there. And he's the host of the Lou Extravaganza Show. How's it going, Lou? Look at this background.
Boy, I'm doing great. Like we said before we came on the air, hockey season starts in 6 days with with the puck drop with Florida and Chicago, and then the Wings get going. Can't wait.
Yep. Looking forward to it here, Lou. So today we've got the Red Wings. Later on, we're going to get into the Buffalo Sabres a bit with our other guests later on. But before we start here, gentlemen, where should we start with Detroit here before we get into our additional attractions? Cody, off the top here.
Well, I guess I got to ask this question off the top here, because with the recent success of the Detroit sports teams there, the Lions becoming a successful team, the Pistons finally making the playoffs and kind of having a stronger team, and then, the Tigers now making the playoffs, now winning their game earlier today. How the Red Wings kind of fallen in the hierarchy or in the sports town of Detroit, because you have all the other teams, like Detroit Lions were one of the worst franchises in all sports.
With the Florida Panthers.
Not too long ago. And the Red Wings were the pinnacle of it. I mean, 25 straight years of the playoffs, a streak that was ever unheard of. But now it's kind of fallen to the depths a bit, and they've struggled in recent years. How does the city of Detroit feel about the Red Wings currently compared to the other teams?
Well, they're disappointed. I think they're very the patience level is just about gone with the fan base. Hockey guys know it takes time, but it's been 9 years, and this is, I think, Steve Yzerman's seventh here as a GM, sixth or seventh. I've lost count, and it's tough when one of the first questions out of the mouth of the media here in Detroit is, you feel like you're going to be fired if you don't make the playoffs, and I never thought I'd say that the Red Wings are at the bottom of the pecking order right now, because I never thought they'd be behind the Pistons. And once they start winning, it's a very loyal fan base. They'll be there. It's a beautiful facility. Little Caesars Arena is a great place to watch a hockey game. But yeah, right now, the Lions with their success, the Tigers, obviously, and I think that they're still maybe third. It's going to take a few years for the Pistons to really get a stranglehold in Detroit. They've been bad for so long. And the Red Wings, with that 25-year run, like you mentioned, all it's going to take is a little more taste of success, and they'll be right up there with the Lions. Nothing's ever going to overtake the Lions in this town as long as they're good. And because that's just, it's such a football crazed town. So yeah, that's kind of where I think the Red Wings sit.
Yeah, Nick, I know you could speak on that as our resident season ticket holder with the Florida Panthers.
Oh.
And, seeing those lean years, and even a team in an original six in Detroit here, Nick, having to go through this. At the bottom of the screen here, we have the stats there from last year. I think the Red Wings have to really work on improving their goals for and their goals against. If you look at some teams, the Atlantic, Lou, that either made the playoffs or missed the playoffs, they might have to bring down the goals against or bring up the goals for. If you look at the Detroit numbers here, they got to do both of that, finishing sixth in the Atlantic last year there, Nick.
Well, I think, and it's pretty well known, I'm not a huge fan of Detroit's roster construction. It's putting it mildly, but I think, like you said, the frustration just keeps mounting. It's year 7, 8, 9 of this, and you would kind of think the money has been spent, the free agency acquisitions have happened, and it's still the same result over and over and over again. And now you're taking a look at some of those contracts. You're starting to get into an older Dylan Larkin, Moritz Seider needs a new deal soon, or I'm not sure if he got it yet. Does he need a new deal soon?
Yes, he does.
He needs a new deal soon. And now you're taking a look. Well, you have those guys sometimes getting older. Some guys.
Patrick Kane added on where he was looking at Florida there, Nick.
Exactly. You'd have guys getting older, and at the same time, your younger guys needing new deals. And then you kind of have this, again, late 20s, early 30s crux of guys that taking up a lot of cap. When you take a look, Ben Sherratt, Justin Holl, J.D. Comfort, Andrew Kopp, It's been poor management. It's been, I don't know whether it's pro scouting or just the decision making on Yzerman alone, but the money that's been spent, which is kind of what dictates these. A lot of people say these rebuilds determine prospects. Yes, but how you spend your money, because one of the things about rebuilding teams is you have money. Well, once you spend it, you spent it. They've spent it, and I don't think they used it wisely, and I think it's biting them in the ass. And when you take a look at a lot of the other teams, like you said, in the Eastern Conference now, I think it's going to be very difficult for them, like you said, Kirby, not only have to score more goals, but have to allow less. And I know John Gibson,
we'll get into
coming in, but I've been a critical of their blue line, which we'll get into later. But I think it's an uphill battle for sure. It's going to determine a lot of things, but my characterization of it would be an uphill battle.
Lou, Nick threw a lot at you there, and Nick, we can get into the addition subtractions here in a minute. But Lou, anything to add on Nick's?
Well, he's gone
at Detroit hard this summer.
He's got a lot of valid points, and I can see why, it is a frustrating look. You mentioned some names, Justin Holl. I'm not a fan. Comfort, I'm still, I don't know, Sherratt, he's 34. I mean,
it's like $15-20 million, 3-4 players like that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And you don't have an NFL salary cap where it's $200 million. I mean, you're absolutely right. And they got to sign Seider. And, that's been the sticking point of the Red Wings is on the blue line. And, when the chips are down, they haven't been able to stop anybody. And then they went into these scoring droughts last year that were mind-boggling. They go on these long tailspins. And, they got rid of Petrie, which, I wasn't heartbroken to see him go away, but Van Riemsdyk got signed. I mean, okay, we got enough leaders. That's the one thing I don't understand why they went out and they went after him. Appleton, is he going to do it? I don't know. I mean, I would love to see them start playing some of their younger guys.
Lord. They signed Hamonic?
Yeah. So taking a look at the notable additions and subtractions here. And nothing of note outside of John Gibson. You have Jacob Bernard-Docker, James Van Riemsdyk, Mason Appleton, Travis Hamonic, John Gibson, and then
all
going out.
Players outside of Gibson there, Nick, that have kind of seen their best hockey.
Yeah, I mean,
unless Bernard-Docker can be something which he has going.
They didn't really do anything outside of a contract dump in Tarasenko and a couple of veterans who were replaced by Van Riemsdyk, Appleton, Hamonic, and then the goalie is where the big upgrade is. But I don't think it's a wildly different team than last year. I know Axel Sandin Pellikka, young guy coming up. They're going to expect a lot from him, which I know Vince is. But, how much is that really going to help? If you're relying on a rookie to make the jump from 86 points and one of the worst defensive teams in the Eastern Conference to wherever you want to get to, I think that's a big ask and unfair.
It would be like asking Ottawa a year or two ago, Nick, to make that rookie make that impact on the Senators roster. I don't think that's fair.
I don't think it's fair on him. I think it takes time. Young defensemen, they're like offensive tackles. Like they take a while, right? Like it is what it is, especially in an Eastern Conference that I think is stacked, and it'll be interesting to see for sure.
Well, guys, the thing that's frustrating, I think, in Detroit is 2 years ago, they went down to literally the last period away from making the playoffs, right? Kane scored. I can still see it. Kane scored that shootout goal, and you already knew the season was over. And you would have thought that last year they would have took the next step. And it's just natural progression, right? And they didn't. And then they went off this offseason, and they signed, like you meant, I don't have to repeat it. They signed some aging people that I think have seen their better years. That's the frustrating thing. And I think Gibson's an upgrade, but personally, I want to see him try. I want to see him get Kosa in that, see what he's got.
Yeah, I mean, he was the first round pick not too long ago. And I also, another thing we have, just a reminder, Seider is signed through 2031. It's Edvinsson they have to re-sign.
Edvinsson, my mistake. Right. And Larkin needs to be signed, correct?
And yes.
Yeah. Well, we can get into the Larkin and
that's if they even decide to.
But as of right now, Detroit only has 2 defensemen on the roster next year. Only 2.
Well, that's a
which
good thing for
which
them.
is Moritz Seider and Albert Johansson. But the thing is,
I agree that's a good thing, Nick, but then they have to build from that to try to make
Well,
the playoffs. They're
the
trying to
track
do this
record of
core
building
core.
it is not too good. So again, if the question is Steve Yzerman going to be the one signing those contracts next year? I don't know.
but
This
here's
year will determine it.
He's not going anywhere.
Ooh.
I would
There you go, Nick.
shocked.
Well,
Hey, listen, here's the thing about Detroit, and this is why I'm not 100% on Yzerman. They're Anaheim East. Basically, they are in on all all these big free agents. They were in on Stamkos, they were in on I think Ryan O'Reilly.
yeah, he turned out real great.
Look, they tried, and they can't get the big one. They can't. That's just
I'm
weird.
with a bit there, Cody, where Yzerman's probably,
Yeah, but again, at the end of the day, and I know that is a good point, it still doesn't excuse the amount of money you spent on the free agents you did. I mean, those were not hard decisions. People are saying, "Oh, that was a good choice." Nobody looked at the Ben Sherratt contract at the time and said, "Oh, yeah, that's a good deal." Nobody looked at Justin Holl at the time "Yeah, that's a great deal." That anybody could have told you that those were going to be bad.
I like Andrew Kopp, but I
But
like
what if they are in the position Florida was 10 years ago, where they have to overpay for everyone to come to damn Detroit?
But this is Detroit we're talking about.
This is Detroit, and I'm going to be honest
but
with
the
you.
luster's gone from it now. It hasn't been there since Zetterberg retired.
If you have to overpay Ben Sherratt to come to your team, there's a problem.
We overpaid Philip Kuba, dog. It's just
that was a 2-year deal.
Sherratt was what, 3, 4?
4.
No, Kuba was 4.
I don't want to shit on Ben Sherratt or Steve Yzerman. Look, all I'm saying is
you don't.
No. Look, I think there's some good pieces in Detroit. Sandin Pellikka, Edvinsson, Seider, Marco Kasper, obviously Lucas Raymond.
Let's ask Lou here. Lou, what do you see from these additions? Let's focus on the additions here. Obviously, the obvious one, John Gibson. You can comment on that. But anything else as well, Lou? Do we not got Lou?
No, I hear. I'm sorry. You clicked out right just a split second. What I see from those is, Gibson obviously is the big one. I kind of like Docker. I was not a fan of Van Riemsdyk at all coming to Detroit. That's a head scratcher to me. Appleton, okay, but I just think there was more out there. And here's the thing. Detroit has lost its luster as being, a destination for the big name talent. And
why is that, Lou?
I that's the $1 million question, guys. I really don't know, because they've got the rich history. They were perennial Stanley Cup contenders for a
new building, like you mentioned.
What's that?
New building, like you mentioned.
That might be something to do with it, but I thought that.
No, I'm saying that would be on the positive side.
It would be. It's going to take. I liken it to the Tigers back in 2005, I think it was, when they signed Pudge Rodriguez. Nobody wanted to come here. And it was a splash, and it turned out Detroit was a contender for a decade. It's going to take something like that. You mentioned it. They may have to overpay for somebody, but it's got to be somebody younger and good. I mean, and I just don't know if Yzerman's being told from above he can't. With Chris Ilitch, you never know, because
I've heard a lot of complaints.
Oh, he's terrible.
Lifelong people who I know from Michigan, who are Red Wings fans, season ticket holders there, who brought that point up, that Yzerman's not to blame, it's the owner. I don't know if there's anything to that, but if that is the case, he's handcuffing them for sure.
I will say this, no disrespect to the Ilitch family, but if he is truly like that with these sports teams, that he's basically spitting on his father's grave. Because his father gave everything to Detroit sports to make sure they would win. I mean, Detroit in the late 90s had the biggest payroll in hockey. It was Mike Ilitch was, I think, one of the biggest examples of what it takes a great owner is.
I think that's what's the hard part to probably take, Lou, for the fan base, everything, the fall from grace and what the team has been. We're not talking the original 6 era. We're talking in the 90s and 2000s here, Lou.
Right. And okay, the thing, back in the 90s, there was no salary cap, so they could go out and spend the coin. you can only spend so much. I get it, but Mike Ilitch would not be afraid to pay a luxury tax, if or whatever the penalty would be in the NHL. So part of it does. I think it's a combination of both, and there either let the young guys play, let Simon Edmondson play full time, whatever. Bring the guys up from Grand Rapids. I want to see what Carter Mazur does this year. It's go time. I mean, I'm speechless at it because it's like the carrot right there where you reach out to try to grab it. They're close, but then they keep taking. For every one step forward, it seems they take 2 steps back.
Yeah,
and I think drafting has played a part in that. For a long time, like Sebastian Cossa, first round pick.
Yeah,
I don't even know if he's gotten 5 NHL starts. Has he even debuted?
He's not debuted.
He's played. He had 5. I think he had 2 starts, and he was called up because of injury.
Okay,
but I'm telling you guys, my theory on Cossa is I think he could be traded. The only reason I say that is they've got the kid out of Michigan State, Trey Augustine, coming.
Yeah.
And, I've watched him. I was a season ticket holder last year for Michigan State. The kid's really good. And I think he could step in at least to Grand Rapids. And then I think he might be what they're looking at down the road. But
Lou, just to jump in there, who did you want them to draft that year when they had Cossa? I think that's the same draft as Wallstad, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what I want. You hit it.
Oh, that's who you wanted.
Yeah.
Let's talk. Like, looking at the 21 draft, they said they selected Sebastian Cossa 15th overall. 2 picks later was a Kirby guy, Zachary Bolduc to St. Louis. Wallstead went 20th to Minnesota,
which Edmonton should have taken.
Wyatt Johnston went 23 to Dallas.
Wow.
So it's like,
because you're wondering now with the goalie, you maybe didn't know at the time, obviously, but you having 2 goalies in the system, you could really have used that pick somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's so weird because Yzerman was known for his drafting in Tampa. I mean, Kucherov mid-round pick, Rated Point mid-round pick, Andre Vasilevsky in the first round, which was a first-round pick given to him by Detroit for Kyle Quincy. So it's like, it's at the same token, it's like all the stuff that Yzerman was good at in Tampa, it's kind of just falling off a cliff in Detroit. I don't know if it's this, if the scouting, if he has a new head scout, which is not as good as the one he had in Tampa. I don't really know. Like the scouts, Vince will probably answer that question better for us. But looking at the current lineup for the Detroit Red Wings, we will start with the forward front as always. Dylan Larkin with this prospect apparently has been out of fire out in camp. So Lou,
and let us know, Lou, if this lineup's wrong as we go along. Go ahead.
Yeah, so they have Emmett Finney, who's been on fire in camp for Detroit at the first line left wing with Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond. The 2 probably consistent guys on this team, in my opinion. Like, when you point to reasons why Detroit has been close to the playoffs, I think Larkin and Raymond are the 2 top reasons right 100%. There. I mean, I'm a big Lucas Raymond fan. You can ask Kirby this. Like, I was big on him like this whole year. I remember him coming in clutch for you guys those years that you guys were coming down to like the last couple games. And then on the second line, you had Marco Kasper, who kind of popped off in the back half of last year.
Right.
For Detroit with Alex DeBrincat, who really hasn't been all like what he's been in Chicago. He had the 1 hot start, I think, 2 years ago. And then kind of tapered off since then. And the ageless wonder that is Patrick Kane.
Yeah. This is what I think is going to be the opening day lineup. I mean, Emmett Finney has just been incredible in the preseason. And, I talked with Max Bultman from The Athletic, and, he raves about him. And the guy that I want to see break out is the big fella, Soderblom. 6'8". I just think I think he's going to make the roster, maybe as an extra right now, 4th line guy. I'm excited to see what he brings, but that's the lineup right there. And I'm kind of down on Berggren. I'm not a big fan of his. The guy's got more lives than a cat, in my opinion. And I don't get it. I don't see. I must be missing something with him.
Lou, I don't get it with JT Comfort. Can you explain to me? Is he your fourth
I
C this
can't.
year?
I said it at the beginning.
$10.5 million on a third and fourth line center.
You're bringing me down, fellas. You're bringing me down.
I haven't looked at the lineup this summer, but I'm shocked to see Comfort there because me and Cody have gone at it at times because I studied Comfort tape and film there, Lou, when we brought in Evan Rodriguez from Colorado. And I'm like, why are they playing this Comfort guy ahead of Erod? I don't get it from Bednar. And now you see in Detroit, okay, you're paying him the money to play him up in the lineup. And now I'm looking at here, he's on your fourth line.
But $5 million and he's your 4C, that's a damn indictment right there. I mean, you can't even kick him to wing and try something.
Yeah. And I think Rasmussen has to step up this year. He's had flashes, but he's got to step up. He's got to step his game up. And again, you mentioned about Kane, the ageless wonder. I mean, he'll probably get us 20 goals, 25.
Yeah.
But that's I don't want to have to keep relying on him, though. I mean, it's
overtimes and the shootouts.
showtime, yeah, for sure.
Look,
not quite as good as it was in Chicago.
But those hands are still silky.
Yeah, they are.
And then let's take a look at what makes this team truly great. It's that blue line. Oh my goodness! Holy shit!
All right, I got to get this off my chest because Nick has gone off on this like every stream we've had. Can we get Mo Seider some damn help? I mean,
love it.
You think?
Evanson,
just somebody. Because the thing is, with all the great young defensemen in this league, they've had at least some guy who's been there, done that, to kind of show them the ropes. Cale Makar had Eric Johnson. Aaron Ekblad had Brian Campbell. Quinn Hughes had Alex Edler.
Was the guy in Pittsburgh again, Cody?
What, Letang?
Hal Gill, or they had some guys there.
Letang had Hal Gill. He had Rob Scuderi. He had those types of guys.
But you're saying you don't want one on
and Sergei Gonchar.
But you don't want one on every pairing, is what you're saying.
I don't want one. You just need one damn guy. Here's the thing. You want to know what's helping Lucas Raymond probably? Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane's probably giving Lucas Raymond a ton of pointers in the back. 100%. Who's giving Seider pointers? You giving bench? You hoping Ben Sherratt? Eric Gustafson? Justin Hall?
Jeff Petrie?
No. Not anymore.
I mean, Lord. Mo Seider is just been handcuffed, thrown in jail, super glued the lock, and they forgot where they put the key. It's just he's one of my favorite players in this league to watch because he's such a big guy, just smooth skating. Good defensive, but Lou, I mean, you've watched this blue line because all of last year. I mean,
are the guys off on it here? Are we off on it here?
No, you're not. You're not, and it's frustrating to see. It's these guys look like they fall asleep for about 5 minutes a game, 5-6 minutes a game, and that's all it takes. And Seider's on an island. I was hoping maybe Gustafson would step up. And again, I'm looking at Edvinsson. Maybe he can be an answer, but that's just two. What are you going to do? They can't play all three shifts. I mean, and you could have anybody in goal. But when you've got Swiss cheese like this defense has been at times, it's tough.
Is it just slow foot speed, transitioning the puck when speed's coming at them, turnovers in their own zone?
There it is, right there. It's turnovers in their own zone. That's been the killer, and that it's so frustrating because you just watch them. And you see them at times, they play like a solid blue line. And then it's just, again, you go to these lapses. I don't know if they get shook or what, but it's just they go to sleep for about 3 to 4 minutes. They make costly turnovers. Next thing you know, they're down 3-1 or 4-2 after they come out strong for 25 minutes. And then they're playing catch up.
I remember Cody's great with dates. Panthers' first cup run. Detroit was battling for that playoff spot.
They were in the spot that year.
It
They
was
went
0-0 until halfway through the game, and then the Panthers get the icebreaker, and that deflated Detroit.
Oh my! And it was just a rout. Like they were in the playoff spot that year. They were in it comfortably.
They were talking about having home ice. I think they were like a number 2. They were number 2 in the division. Then it was,
and then it slowly slipped, but they were in wild card 1 by at least 6-8 points.
Oh, 100%. Then they played Colorado in the beginning of that West Coast trip, and they lost 8 straight.
Yeah,
and it was like March 10th, because I remember, because I was just beginning to do my run at the ACHA National Championships as broadcasting. We were out there. I was watching it with a couple of Colorado buddies, and after that, Detroit never recovered, and they never recovered from it last year either. They took a step back.
It's just and as Panther fans, like, I don't want to disrespect by saying this, but the Panthers have owned Detroit in Detroit for as long as I can remember.
Oh, it's been years.
Like, we've lost ever since 2021. We've lost one time in Little Caesars, and it was last year, and that was because half our lineup was out.
Yeah,
and I do that with other teams too. And you look across head to head.
But the game Kirby's talking about, I remember like yesterday, it was scoreless after the first. Detroit needed all of them. And Montour scores like off a rush. And it just went downhill.
I felt that was the change of the momentum of that season for Detroit. In that one game on national.
That was before the trade deadline, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was after.
It was after the deadline. I remember it.
Oh, I don't.
Because they went to Colorado
2 years ago?
Yeah.
Did they go to Colorado right after that and get beat 7-1?
It was something like that. It was like the start.
That has been the pinnacle moment for Detroit in the last 5 years.
Point to the year before that. It was when we were in the crux of that run. I think Detroit lost to Ottawa back to back, and then
that was another one.
That's when they shopped Bertuzzi. That's when they shopped some of these other guys.
Yeah.
So they were in it, and then back to back losses to Ottawa.
That's when they traded Bertuzzi to Boston. I'll never forget. I was at my professor's office for office hours at like 9 a.m. and I see Bertuzzi for like a first, and I'm like, what the hell? And it's just like I can pull it up here.
They've been there. It's like right at the precipice.
Like 2 years ago, I thought would have been it because they were comfortably in for a little bit. Kurt. Remember that they were like 6.8 points in.
They have been. They've been at many points.
And the cliff and like it just
now,
kind of fell off.
If we scroll down to the goaltending, is that the key to Detroit here, Lou?
This is the only hope because this tandem actually can be decent because Cam Talbot was very decent for Detroit last season, and John Gibson
he played 47 games last year,
and John Gibson can be a 1. He still can be. The health is the biggest thing.
Health card is the thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can't count on Cam Talbot to play 50 games. You just can't. And I think, Gibson's going to have to be the guy to play those 50 games. And I'm still saying they got to get Kosa up to play at least 10.
All right.
See what he's got. And if he's, then you got to cut ties. Either trade him or whatever. I mean, but I don't know. I hope Gibson's the answer to get him. If he can get hot, gain some momentum, gain some confidence, get the youngsters, get the blue line working. Who knows? Maybe they can sneak in.
So that aforementioned month that we talked about, where the wheels kind of fell off the wagon for Detroit in that 24 year, was March 2024. They went 3-9-2.
Yeah, I remember
it was 4-0 to us. And I'll never forget, we punked them that game. Yeah. Like in the third, they tried to fight us, we just punked them. And then they had a 3-day rest, go into Colorado, lose 7-2. They go to Arizona, 4-0 in Vegas, 5-3 loss. Then they get blown out in Buffalo, 7-3. Arizona at home. This was in Arizona, was god awful too. They lost 4-1. Yeah. And then they broke the streak with a win versus Buffalo, then lose to Pittsburgh, beat Columbus, beat the Islanders, lose to Nashville, lose to Washington, lose to Carolina, and then lose to us again. And I remember this game. I think this was the shootout or Barkov won it. Like that's when we were like on our like cold streak, and we needed that win so bad.
And you talk about those divisional games with Florida. We talked about the ones with Ottawa. Those are key games. Those are 4-point swing games, you know. And
Yeah, 100%.
we were there back in the day, Lou. We felt the same. Those teams tease us for those wild card spots, the P4 era. There's been
fucking John Tortorella, fucking asshole.
You know, it's funny is I can't say this anymore to anybody because, you know, growing up when I was young, you know, back in the 70s, Detroit was horrible. I mean, and in the early 80s, they had to give away a car just to get people into the rink at Joe Louis. You got to be patient. Then we were good for 25 years, and then all of a sudden now, I think the time for patience is over. It's got to be go time, and I'm one of the most optimistic, patient people that you'll ever meet. You know, I still think that they've got a shot with this crew with Yzerman, but now you got to produce, you got to put up. You know, it's got to be.
Yeah.
Guys, are we getting to prediction time here?
Like it's
I
so
think
tough.
They're going to be 7th.
Yeah, you have them 7th.
Okay,
I have them 6th because I don't see them jumping either. I can see a world where they could do it. They can jump one of Ottawa or Montreal
potentially. Yeah,
but like from what I've seen from them, Dylan Larkin has to play all 82 because once he's hurt, they're screwed.
And a team like Toronto or Tampa or Florida, one of the three would have to self-implode and have so many injuries. Right now, Florida's dealing with the injury bug. There is a chance, whether it be 5-10% chance, one of those three do drop down to like a 5th or 6th spot. I truly believe that in the division.
It's basically because I had to shift my standings now. I still think it's Tampa 1, Toronto 2, Ottawa 3, Florida 4, Montreal 5, Detroit 6, Boston 7, Buffalo 8.
Yeah, and this is the first time we've been on since the Barkov injury, so I will go with Toronto, which I already had at 1. I had Florida at 2. I'm going to drop them down. I'm going to put Montreal at 2. I'm going to bump Tampa Bay from the wild card up to 3. Florida, it could be wild card 2, but right now I'll have them wild card 1 going into the year here. Hopefully no more injuries. Ottawa in the wild card 2 position, and Lou, I'll have Detroit in the 6th spot, which is unfortunately probably where they're at. But I do have a little bit of an arrow trending up here. Some of these injuries and question marks to some of these teams in the Atlantic Division, that opens up the window a little slightly there for Detroit. And like Montreal, Lou, I think Detroit has to get off to a good start.
Okay. I made an error in saying that I have Detroit 6th on my end.
I don't know if you are, because I'm pretty sure you've had
I had Boston 7th.
I had Buffalo and then Boston.
I had Boston 7th.
It's just with Detroit, I just think here's the thing. With Detroit, I feel that in the regular season you can get away with scoring goals a lot. And Detroit to me can score lots of goals. I mean, Lucas Raymond, Dylan Larkin, Alex DeBrincat, Patrick Kane. I mean, that's
okay. If they can score a lot of goals, they can keep the puck out of the net this year with Gibson. So
I can't hold my breath on that. I really can't because
I think I'm more confident on them keeping
my hot take with Detroit is
with Gibson.
I think Sebastian Cossa starts 20 plus games.
Wow. I hope so.
Just because
I just want to see what he's got.
You have to at this point. You invested a first round pick in him.
So you're going a 3-goal lead.
You have to, because that's just what it is.
Remember when we did that with
up to 3 or 4 goalies mean
remember when we did that with Michael Hutchinson? Oh boy.
Yeah, that's Michael Hutchinson though. He was like an undrafted guy.
But Lou, jump in here. Tell us where your predictions are, how you see this division, but namely Detroit here.
Well, I've got Detroit 5th. I've got Tampa 1. I still have Florida 2nd or 3rd. I've got Toronto 2nd. Toronto and Florida 2nd and 3rd. You know, I've got Montreal 4th, and I've got Detroit 5th, and
Ottawa 6th. Okay,
Ottawa 6th.
That's fair.
Buffalo and Boston 7th and 8th. I maybe I'm being optimistic, and I've got them fighting for a wild card spot. You know, I think it's going to take 96 points, 95 points, and to get in. And I don't know if they've got it. I hope so. They're they're teetering on the edge. So I've got them 5th in the Atlantic.
That's fair. I'd say.
You know what? I'm gonna scratch that. I got Detroit 8th. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with that.
I don't know what Nick's doing. We're gonna have a graphic for Nick.
Okay. Detroit's gonna finish 8th. That's my prediction.
Okay.
I think they're gonna be last in the division.
Okay, they're not that garbage, but here's the thing. I think the wild card 2 spot's gonna be right around 93, 94 points. Last year was 91, just to remind everybody, 91. I have 93 because I still think teams got a bit better. And I think the Eastern Conference is just a bit more competitive where the point total is going to be a bit lower, I think. So I have right around 93 because it ain't going to be like that one year. Remember, it was like every team in the playoffs had 100 points or something. That was like ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not sensing that.
Like the one time we had the 1 seed, we had to face a 100-point team in the first round.
Yeah, I don't think that's...
Like that was ridiculous.
You know
but
I'll change back in 6th. I'm going.
No, you're sticking with 8th.
6th.
Keep it down.
I'm holding you to 8. But anyway,
6th.
But Lou,
Detroit will finish 6th.
You're all over the place.
But Lou, where can everyone find you? Because I mean, you have a lot of energy with the Detroit sports. I love it. I gotta find you now too. I gotta listen to you. So
You can join me on Wednesday nights, 7:00 Eastern time. It's the Captain Lou Extravaganza. My YouTube channel is the Captain Lou Sports Network. And I do what I call extravagant few minutes episodes throughout the week. They're like 10 minutes, kind of update stuff. And then during the hockey season as well, I have a collegiate hockey podcast called the ACHA Power Play. That's Tuesday nights as well.
Wow, appreciate it. I gotta catch in my college hockey. But
I was on Lou's show last year, and Luke jumps on over on our Spaces channel side whenever we need someone to speak Red Wings with us. But it's glad to have you here, Lou.
Thank you.
And I appreciate your time.
I need Amon-Ra to continue that. I got him on my fantasy team. He needs to continue going like that.
I'm all about it. Let's hope. Let's hope.
Let's keep it going.
Once my team's eliminated, I'm Detroit all the way. But
it's great to hear.
But thank you, Lou, for joining us. Let's say goodbye to Lou and welcome our next guest. And let's hear a word from our sponsor. Caneswear.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Lou.
Thank you.
Panthers fever is here. Are you geared up? Caneswear in Davie is the place for all your Florida Panthers needs. They have the latest gear for our favorite NHL team. Jerseys, polos, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. Caneswear has you covered. Stop by their store in Davie or at pantherswear.com. Again, that's pantherswear, WEAR.com for all your Panthers gear.
Another word from our other sponsor, Jeremy Beckham with Next Home Treasure Coast. Hey, Panther fans in South Florida need real estate up? Check out Jeremy Beckham with Next Home Treasure Coast. It's a boutique service with a personal touch. Jeremy and his team put humans over houses, working hard for you, whether you're buying or selling. Ready to move? Hit up BeckSellsFLA.com or call 772-475-5371 now. You'll be glad you did. And our next, as the screen says, please check out the last episode of the Cats and Rats podcast, episode number 59. In the middle of our ad break, Kirby has the instructions to the new Et tu Lusterine JSA certified photo contest, which in order to enter, you would have to rate us 5 stars on Spotify, leave a comment if you can, and send a screenshot of you rating us 5 stars and DM it to Kirby either on Instagram or Twitter at KJ_loops or our Instagram page at Cats and Rats Podcast on Instagram. And I mean, it's going to be a fun
Kirby, you did a very nice job finding a solution for this. I got to tell you, good job.
Hey, I had to rack my brain how we're going to do this.
There you go.
Coming up soon, we're going to have ticket giveaway contest. So everyone better pay attention to the contest rules for this one because we're going to think of something for that one.
But anyway, next up, we have our representative for the Buffalo Sabres, from the Sabre Report, Jonah Ahearns. How we doing, Jonah?
I'm doing all right. I just got done watching the game 1 of the wild card series between the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. And as a Red Sox fan, my heart has been pumping out of my chest for the last 30 minutes.
I was side-eyeing it so bad. I was just like this.
Now I know that about Jonah.
I'm Buffalo born and raised, but my family grew up a Red Sox fan, so that's where my loyalties lie there.
Well, thank you for being here tonight. I didn't know that was going to be a conflict.
It was so funny that they were up 2 runs going into the bottom of the 9th, and the Yanks back to back hits. They load the bases, and I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be a long inning. I'm not gonna be able to maybe watch the end of this game before I have to jump over. But luckily, Aroldis Chapman had other plans, and secured the game
struck
one victory.
him out.
Now
I
we're
would-
perfect because we were a little behind schedule there.
I was side-eyeing it so hard. I was just like watching it. Like,
Yeah, I was on my feet. I was pacing around the room. I'm still coming down from it, but I'm glad to be here. Glad to be
Well, now we don't want to bring the mood down, Jonah.
unfortunately, we're talking about a team that will not give you this kind of thrill. It's the opposite, actually. Now we're talking about the Buffalo Sabres, ladies and gentlemen, a team
Hey,
that.
if we're too hard on you guys, you let us know, Jonah.
Listen,
we were here once upon a time.
We've been taking punches for 14 years. I don't think there's anything we haven't
The only
faced.
thing I can say to Sabre fans, at least you got the Bills. That's
And
about
Cody's a Dolphins fan, so you can get on that if you're a Bills fan.
Look, I respect.
I am.
I respect the Bills. Here's the thing.
We're
I respect
Cowboys
them.
fans.
They own us. I respect them.
Where we can say anything.
I don't
We're
hate
like
the Bills.
Leafs.
I hate Matt Milano, but I hate like, but
Yeah.
I respect the Bills. But anyway, but the Buffalo Sabres, I don't know if I've ever seen a team in the basement as long as the Buffalo Sabres have been.
And they have so much potential on paper, Cody.
It's ridiculous at some points because I know Jonah's probably the more frustrated of all of us. Because you watch this team every night, 82 games, unfortunately.
I do it for the love of the
then-
game.
And then you only get to a point where you just can't wait for the draft. So what are your feelings going into another season of Buffalo Sabres hockey where there is no more Dylan Cousins? There's now Josh Norris. There is no more JJ Peterka. Now you have Josh Stone, who looks pretty good, and Matt Kesselring. What are your feelings on for this season? What are your expectations right now?
There's a lot going on. Every year is the team lines themselves up for a bunch of what ifs to work out. And this year's no different. I mean, you laid out two prime examples, Dylan Cousins trade, which was made back in March. And you last year, you only got 3 games of Josh Norris. That's a big unknown factor coming into this year. And then obviously the whole JJ Peterka thing, which appeared out of nowhere. He was an RFA going into last season, or last off season, and he had a great year, career year, 68 points. You knew you were probably going to have to pay him, but then just out of nowhere, it's clear he didn't want to play in Buffalo, and they respected those wishes and traded him to Utah. It's there's a lot of what ifs, but I think what's different about this year, and there's always something different because me at heart, I'm an optimist, especially around September. But I think what's different about this year is you look at their past moves since the trade deadline, bringing in Josh Norris, bringing in Josh Doan and Michael Kesselring, bringing in even like Justin Danforth, bringing in Connor Timmins as an upgrade over Connor Clifton. Something you've seen. And I'll even throw Alex Lyon into that mix as well. He's the backup now
He's a legend, by the way. You'll love that
some
guy.
fans, Jonah, I just want to jump in. Sabres fans that we had on content creators, they were expecting him to start 55, 60 games there a couple seasons ago. And we're like, pump the brakes.
Yeah. That was Devin Levi. Devin Levi. He was the guy.
Oh.
He came in
Yes. Thank you. My
at the end of his collegiate season, signed with the team, and he went up against you guys in the game that Alex Lyon broke our hearts in. But yeah, there was so much hype around him all those years ago, and they set him up to start 50 to 60 games as a 21-year-old, which is something that had not been done since, I think, Carey Price. Like, he was the last one to do it. And surprise, surprise, Levi was overmatched. He wasn't ready, and he's been cooking in the AHL ever since.
Mhm.
But you look at all those additions, and something that's different this time around is I think they have legitimately raised their floor. If you look around at like some of the standings projections, there's quite a few that have them around 90 points, which is like vastly, vastly different compared to previous years. They maxed out at like 85 or 86 points. Like Jay Fresh had them getting in. Micah McCurdy had them at 91 points the other day. I think that's the sort of copium this time around. That's kind of what I think the mentality is, and getting Kesselring and Connor Timmins as like now they have like a defense core that they want to run out there and be confident in, which just has not been the case in previous years. It's a lot of what ifs, but that's kind of my take on where I think I'm at and why even in potentially year 15, I have some sort of hope going in.
That's actually year 15 of the rebuild, and you're kind of approaching where the Panthers were about 6-7 years ago. The era I like to call we're 3 points out of the wild card spot where we got 2 games in hand. I love that era.
The Edmonton Oilers did the tank job even better than that, and the Toronto Maple Leafs were in that kind of despair as well. So in teams in the past, I would say we
tanked all that time only to acquire most of our team through trades and waivers and free agency. Great job.
But again, how Florida's won, how Edmonton's been close, how Toronto's done what they've done. They did that through the draft, and they did that through the core build. All of those guys were drafted.
And here's the funny thing. When Buffalo really has had a top pick, they don't draft busts with the top picks that I can remember. Like Eichel was nowhere near a bust. Reinhart wasn't a bust. I know he struggled for a bit there, but he wasn't a bust. He was better in the back half of the Buffalo tenure. And then, Owen Power, I still think is a pretty good defenseman. Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily call him a bust. The draft was just kind of like because there was no scouting that year. And then Dowling's damn near not a bust. He's a top 3 to 5 defenseman in this league.
But they're the one organization
everything damn else. Like they tried to get Eichel, they tried to get Kyle Okposo, who unfortunately had some of the worst concussion issues or head issues known to man. They tried Matt Molson. That lasted 5 games?
He was great when they traded for him, and then they flipped him at the deadline, and then he came back and re-signed in free agency, got this huge deal, and then that's when he just fell off a cliff.
Like they had Linus Ullmark, they had Sam Reinhart, they had Jack Eichel. Like I can go on and on and on and on. And as you can see with the note additions, Kesselring and Doan, I think, are your 2 best additions. I still like the Peterka deal as it aged. At the time, I didn't think much of. I didn't really like it from Europe, but then I saw what Doan's looked like in preseason, and he looks like a stud so far. Connor Timmins just depth defenseman at this point. Alex Lyon, Panther legend. If I can give him a Stanley Cup ring, I would. I actually really would. I'm not going to lie to you. I actually would.
He kicked that whole thing off. I mean, he got the Panthers into the playoffs that year, and they just have not.
Thank you, Buddy Robinson, also for that.
I want to sign Buddy Robinson. Just give him an AHL.
Give him an AHL deal.
God year for a year. Hell with it.
But I want to ask Jonah. Like this team has figured out the goals against one season, then the next season struggles to score. Where are they at this year, Jonah?
It's it plays into that what if conversation. Their center spine right now is very, very questionable. Josh Norris probably hasn't played first line center, from when he was with Ottawa since 2021, before Stützle really established himself. Their second line center is Ryan McLeod right now, who I love. And I think when he's on the third line, I think he's among the best third line centers in the league. And then your third line center is Yuri Kulik, who showed some serious promise last year. But, what does that look like over full 82 games? Is he going to go up in the lineup and down?
I just want to jump in. Have they given up on the Tage Thompson experiment at center that he's going to the wing?
It's been one of the I don't want to call it a weirder thing. Lindy Ruff likes him better on the wing. And I think so does Tage Thompson. And, his production hasn't slowed down. He's Tage Thompson. He works wherever. He's not a defense. Like, he's no Barkov in the middle. Like, he's kind of a liability in his own zone. But he's just, he's on the polar opposite end for offense. Like, he's Tage Thompson. It's just one of those things where I understand if you like him better there. It's just now your number one center becomes someone who hasn't played more than 65 games in his career, and his next 2 options are a 21-year-old or Ryan McLeod, who's mostly played third line center. So that's kind of where it's at with that.
I'm with you on McLeod being down the middle of the ice, but being appropriately slotted at that 3C position. Cody, Nick, we'll go to the lineup here soon.
I'm looking at this lineup, the forward lineup anyway. It's not a bad forward lineup by any means necessary. Like, I've seen worse forward lineups in this division. I mean, you have like let's be real. Josh Norris is a big albatross, like a first line center. You're just praying he plays 40 games at this point.
And Jonah, let us know if these lineups are wrong. This is via daily.
No, that's accurate. That's what they've been running out in the like maybe aside from the fourth line, but that's
granted,
the fourth line.
We must remember Jordan Greenway's not in the lineup yet. He's out currently. So I think he'd probably be in. He would probably be in over Malenstein or Danforth. Probably Danforth because they paid a premium for Malenstein for some reason. And then you have Norris, Benson, Thompson. I like Zach Benson. I like what he's kind of brought to Buffalo. Really good young player. Really wish he didn't switch his number with Josh Norris because Josh Norris didn't deserve it.
Don't even get me started on that. 6 is just like, oh man, his stock has dropped so much.
Like the aura has gone away from 9 to 6. Then Tage Thompson, huge powerhouse, good for 40 a year. Should be on the Olympic team this year for the USA, I hope, because I'm just hoping. And then you have Ryan McLeod, really good, probably a better third line center, but second line center, you're just like, eh.
Hold on. I'm jumping in there for a second. You want Tage Thompson on the Olympic team, Cody, on your American squad?
As of right now, yeah.
Well, you should have had him on there in 4 Nations.
I didn't think he really does. At the time, I didn't like the season he had before. I wasn't really 100% on it.
Gold, and he should have been in the lineup. But go ahead.
I mean, we sat Kyle Connor because he couldn't do anything. I'd rather have Thompson. So you have Jason Zucker, who's it's just there at this point. And then you have Alex Tuck, who is looking like to be a prime trade deadline candidate currently if Buffalo does not re-sign him. I don't see a world where they do right now unless they give him something he can't refuse.
I'll tell you what, he became
Josh Doan on how he'll fit there.
Alex Tuck became a much richer man today. He is very thankful for Kirill Kaprizov raising the winger UFA market.
There's another guy I was thinking too on that front, which will come to me later. But yes,
Artemi Panarin, yeah.
I think Kempe was the other one. It's like Kempe and Tuck are like right next to each other. I think they're waiting to see which one blinks first.
I saw that number. I just go, whew.
Yeah.
Reinhardt's getting paid half of that. Like, it's so crazy. And then the third line, Yuri Kulich, who was actually the first-round pick they took with the Reinhardt deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jack Quinn, another first-round pick of Buffalo. And then Josh Doan, the new acquisition. I think Josh Doan may end up in the top 6. Switch out with Zucker because I don't think Zucker's good.
With Greenway here coming back into the lineup, you said too, Cody. I don't mind this bottom 6.
Like, it's not bad.
I don't mind the forward core at all. I think talent's there.
Paterka, and you still look like this on paper.
Yeah, I mean,
good.
I'm going to be honest with you. It's not like they have a mastermind to help roll out the forward groups behind the bench there, so that might be part of it. But, I mean, they have talent. You take a look. I think you've looked at the roster over the years, and they've had playoff caliber rosters. They've had playoff caliber talent. There's no excuse why they haven't been able to string anything together and make it into the play. Like, look at that top 4. I mean, like, on paper, like, it's great. Like,
I like it better than our top 4.
I mean, right? I mean, like, so for me, there's no excuse for why they haven't been able to make the playoffs. And I think it's just the story of what's happened over the course of the last decade and a half, whether it be with Eichel, Reinhardt, whoever. Now it's with Tage Thompson, Alex Tuck, and these guys are going to move on, and they'll try another rebuild. But I don't know why they would move off of a guy like JJ Paterka if the goal is to win now. And I look, Josh Doan, Michael Kessler, I'm sure they're good players, but I mean. I'm not really sure what the plan is.
I don't get it, Jonah.
I think Dylan Cousins for Josh Norris.
I don't get that. I don't get it.
Dylan Cousins for Josh Norris is a downgrade. And again, Josh Norris' health problems. I think he had a 35-goal year, got the 8x8, and then has basically done nothing since. So there is a bit of a risk there, especially if injury does occur. And, does Tage Thompson have to move back to center? Again, but the talent's there. It's just putting it together, which they failed to do.
I haven't scrolled all the way down for the reason why they probably haven't made the playoffs in a bit.
Well, they've had some nice seasons from UPL.
UPL is hurt currently. I think he's back on the ice. But
3 years ago,
without UPL,
they're setting up my man Georgiev to fail. It's not fair.
like these are the 2 goalies. I mean, Alex Lyon, Alexander Georgiev.
Yeah, The
Yeah,
Georgiev
Jonah,
thing was a
on the back end and the goaltending there. Jonah, go ahead.
well, the goaltending. Luukkonen is just such a
Enigma.
he's just such a goalie. You know, he
You don't know what you're getting.
Goalies are volatile.
It's very true. I mean, he frustrated. So like that season where Alex Lyon got you guys in, you know, Luukkonen was
Phenomenal.
rookie of the month in December. Like he was phenomenal. And then this whole thing happened. Like Eric Comrie came back for injury. They were running 3 goalies, but basically like the second half of the season, Luukkonen was abhorrent. Like he was getting to be unplayable, and you know the Sabres missed out. They needed one more win. He arguably cost them a playoff spot. And then the following season, everybody's hooked on to Devin Levi. And then 2 months in, Luukkonen steals that job and just rides it the rest of the season and has like a damn near Vezina caliber year. Gets paid, comes into this year, starts out okay, and then just tanks as well. It's just, like I said, like he's just a goalie. It's really, I don't know. He's like he might be the toughest person on the roster to project just because of the position and just how he embodies that position. You just don't know what you're going to get.
I even think around the league, Cody. I'm the president or leader of the goalie union. I think UPL, he's a hard guy to predict and slot in where you rank him in a tier. He could be tier 3 at the end of the year. He could be down there in 6 or 7. I don't know.
Like, it's just like I watch him and I think sometimes in my head, I'm like, okay, solid goalie. And then he's garbage again. I'm like, what the hell? Like we're playing.
But then look what's around him at times. But then on the back end, you can get into that a little bit, Jonah. On paper, it looks excellent. What is the problem that we're not seeing as fans when we give your defense
like the casual fan that doesn't
because
watch
of the
Buffalo.
name value of those guys?
It's like you said, like Dahlin, I think top 3 defensemen on the planet. I would, as a Sabres fan, like I would go even farther. Like there's nothing wrong with him. It's just, you know, Bowen Byram he's an asset. He's not great in his own zone. He's not great on his own. Like he's only good with Rasmus Dahlin, which is like why I personally wasn't a fan of that re-signing. He's good, but he's good with one person, and they're really hinging a lot on this Owen Power, Michael Kesselring pair. And, you know, same thing with Owen Power, like insanely, incredibly talented offensively, hasn't figured out the defensive zone stuff. And, you know, in previous, like the partner he's played the most amount of time with, 4 years, right? I think 4 years in his NHL career is Henry Jokiharju.
Oh, good Lord.
Like that. And it's a combo that hasn't worked. Like when Jokiharju's with Dahlin, like it works. It is what it is. But he's spent more than double, I think, the amount of time with him compared to the next player, which I think is Dahlin. That's a big reason. And that's why like the Kesselring thing is like they're hinging this as like this pair can work. But then it's like even then, you know, Kesselring is no defensive stalwart. Like he's kind of like Byram, but like he's much better defensively than Byram. It's a lot of talents, but they just have not come together as like a defensive unit, like pure defensive, just a reliable group on the ice. When they've won games, it's because they're scoring goals. It's never been really because they're locking down games, or if they are locking down games, it's during a period where the starting goaltending has actually been reliable. And it's just when one goes wrong, it's very not too often does the other pick it up.
And then the problem, just to jump in, Cody, the problem I have with Buffalo over the past few years, Cody and I do the post-game shows and all these matchups against Buffalo. When we play them, so much easy ice is given through the neutral zone, and the Panthers just have their way. They're not even playing their top game, and they're just like, okay, we can just work our way into this game. There's no resistance there. The Panthers have not been a speedy rush team by any means, Jonah, over the last few years, but Buffalo's just giving so much open ice in the neutral zone. Cody, I think that's been a problem for Buffalo.
Like one guy that used to kill Buffalo quite a bit, for us anyway, was Brandon Montour, and it was just because he rolled your eyes because he scored every time he was in Buffalo.
It's true,
because you guys would always allow him to jump up in the rush and just do whatever he wanted. It was just that kind of thing, and it's like I'm always sitting there with Buffalo. I'm like, they have talent here. I'm not tripping. Am I wrong?
Montour is me and Cody's guy only. Me and Cody's guy.
Yeah, but like when I look at the Power Kesselring pairing, I see a lot of the Seth Jones Nico Mikkola pairing that we have. I see kind of that potential where it's both big mobile guys. One guy's probably more suited for defensive purposes or being more physical. One guy's more of a puck mover. That's just like what I kind of see from him, and it's like I don't know,
and
like
could be a top 4 defense, a number 4 D-man. I think so.
Like that core is probably has the potential to be the best defensive core in the Atlantic Division, and it's frustrating as hell. Like watching him, you're like, the hell are you doing? Like you don't want to root for teams in your division, but Buffalo's been so bad for so long. Like you have no choice but to root for them. Like you're just like, okay, give your fans at least one damn shred of hope here. I mean, they're not asking for a lot here. They're asking for a playoff series. They don't even care if you get swept. Like just make it one time and just say, hey, we made it. Like it's kind of like that kind of level, I feel. And hiring Lindy Ruff, I never understood it. From the get-go, I'm like, did they just try? Because this is what his third stint with the team, his second stint or something.
Second stint. I understand how that looks from the outside. I think the two things there is that particular offseason, they were looking for an experienced coach, and they were looking for a coach that knew how to win, and those coaches are not available to Buffalo. They just aren't. They're not going to be willing to come here. There was a little there were some whispers that like Craig Berube was maybe interested, but I don't think they would have been willing to pony up the contract that Toronto gave him. Lindy Ruff, this is his last year of his deal. Like he's kind of a lame duck head coach. Yeah. They signed him to 2 years. I defended at the time. I still kind of back it up. But I understand how it looks from the outside. It looks like a retread hire. We're trying to capture the old glory. But it's just they kind of had to deal with the deck that they were handed.
I'm with other coaches. I don't put it all.
Keep the board, back up the Brinks truck, bring him in. Like you guys don't even care at this point.
No, I wouldn't hate that either.
So looking at everything here, what do we think? What are our predictions for Buffalo, Kirby?
Oh, I will go. Whoever wants to go first. I don't need to go first.
I'll go. I have him 8th. I'm kind of just. I think there's going to be some injury problems at center that you pointed out, and goaltending. Who knows how long UPL will be out for? Georgi Evan Lyon. That's going to be rough for a bit. No pun intended there. But 8th, I think they could fight for 7th, maybe 6th if things go really well with Detroit. I think that 6 to 8 range are going to be very close throughout the year. I think Boston now has just a little bit more pedigree, so I'll put him ahead of Buffalo, but I have Buffalo at 8th.
Cody?
For me, like it's so tough because when I really made these predictions, I didn't want to put him 8th. I really didn't. Because I'm staring at that forward core. I'm like, there's no way they're 8th.
That's what I said last year.
That was what I said with Montreal last year. I'm like, there's no way they're 8th, right? Like, and with Buffalo, it's like, to me, there's a world there's a pretty big world they could finish 8th. Well, there's a world they can also finish 5th. There is a world of it.
Okay.
Like they could fight for wild card 2, even make wild card 2. Because like I said,
you're not high on Montreal, so you can see them making as high as 5th, right?
Yeah, because the thing is with Montreal is like I think there's got to be a speed bump somewhere. It ain't all ponies. It ain't all ponies and rainbows. There's something that's going to speed bump them.
I think they already went through that.
No, they didn't. It's like Buffalo's. That's speed bumps. Then again, that's the car breaking down, tire hitting the curb, and everything. I have him 8th, but there's a world where I could see him 5th and maybe in wild card 2.
Wow.
There is a world of it, but a lot has to go right for it to happen.
So you have them where, Cody?
I have him 8th, but hot take, I think Pete DeBoer is the head coach for the Buffalo Sabres by the end of the year.
That is a spicy take.
Okay, I think I don't know. I thought my co-hosts here have been pretty complimentary of Buffalo, but they both are saying 8th here. Jonah, I'm not going to go as low as them, or Zach Phillips, who joined us last week on the Leafs Nation. I'm sticking with Boston last. I've got Buffalo 7th. I think maybe as high as 6th. 5th maybe, but I'm not as low on Montreal and Ottawa as Cody is. There's a chance where they could finish ahead of Detroit and Boston. That's legitimate.
I'm not low on Ottawa as a lot of. I noticed a lot of people
Cody collectively with Ottawa and Montreal.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of people are low.
but I think maybe I can bump them up an extra spot because we don't trust Detroit. But I'm saying I think Detroit can get off to a quick start like Montreal can. I just don't know what to make of Buffalo here, Jonah. But I will have them ahead of Boston because I think Boston can effectively work the tank. I'm a little worried on the side of Swayman to kind of drag them to like a spot where they could maybe tease a wild card because of Jeremy Swayman. But I don't have confidence in the Boston roster like I would with Buffalo.
Pasternak and Swayman.
I just think it would be a shame for Buffalo to finish last with the talent that they have here, and a lot of your core guys too, Jonah. They're just entering their prime. So, and a lot of those guys on the back end and guys that you have up front. You talk about some of the depth that you have as well, even moving out of JJ Peterka. I just cannot see this team being a last place team, but I know it is Buffalo and the things that when it goes bad. But last year, that didn't happen. Look at Boston. We picked them last year to finish first, and they were the team that finished last in the division. So I'll go seventh there, just kind of above Boston, Jonah.
I'm fine with that too.
Well, you know where I stand with like how I perceive kind of like their floor. Like I said, I think they've raised that a lot, and I also think, like, I just don't think the last few teams in the Atlantic are just. I think you put it best. Like, a few of them I don't trust. Like, I flat out think they're better than Boston. You cannot tell me that a team with Casey Middlestead as their second line center. Love Casey to death. Love him. Miss him.
You watched him for 5 years too.
He was great. He was frustrating.
One last week, Jonah, and just slammed Casey.
He was bad with them. He was bad with Colorado this year or last year. His last season with us, he was like our most consistent forward. Obviously, they flipped him for Bowen Byram. I love him, but that's that team's second line center. And there's other things on that roster I don't like. I think the Sabres have a much better roster than them. Detroit, the Todd McClellan thing, they finished super hot. But, once again, I think I just like the Sabres roster better than them. But I think they're a similar team where like their floor is kind of high. And with Montreal, I think I'm with Cody where like I think there's like a speed bump coming because so many people try to tear that team down. Like they defied the odds. They defied the odds and clawed their way into a playoff spot. And I just think, they don't have a bona fide second line center. Demidov could be fun, but maybe he's not like superstar status yet. Things like that. If Montembeault was a monster last year, if he steps back, I think the Sabres, I think they're better than Montreal, and I think they're better than Boston. Detroit just really confuses me. Like, I don't know where to really grade them. And then, like, if you're just talking about division games, like, it sucks, but, their division games against Florida, like, they got a lot easier. You don't know where Toronto ends up this year. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of copium being thrown around. Like, I think where a lot of models have had them, fifth wild card sneaking in with 90 points. I don't think that's an incredibly insane scenario. Like I personally have them at like 87 or 88. It just depends on Josh Norris. It depends on if you get the Zach Benson breakout. It depends if the top four is as good as it looks on paper, and it depends on the goaltending that they get.
Yeah. Jonah, so fifth or sixth if you had to lock it in?
Fifth. I'll go fifth. I'll take the optimistic route. I'll take 90 points. I'll take that. This is the year they do it.
Hey, I respect it. I mean, someone's got to have confidence in this damn team.
Hey, it's got to be a change. Like, I'm kind of boring at the bottom with everyone kind of lockstep where they were last year. And, things aren't going to always play out that way. So.
But like Montreal, it's like you don't want to put them there because of the talent. You're just staring at it. You're just like, it's just like.
I just think something's off with that roster. Something, I don't know what it is exactly.
I'm super high on them. I'm higher on them.
It's called they have no defensive forwards.
Yeah,
hot take, Jonah, and you haven't heard this from me, but I've said it a couple times. I think Montreal could be leading the division a month or two.
Wow, that is bold. If Demidov it comes in and is like a 70, 80 point forward, I could see that.
I don't trust Montembeault. That's just me.
Yeah,
they just like last year, like the last.
He started last year off with a 40 save shutout against Toronto, I think.
Hey, guess what? He's going to start this year with a five goals on 27 shots.
Clip that.
Well, the Atlantic Division has been funny because they, last year was Montreal's big year. And the year before that was Detroit, where they had 90 points and just missed. And then it was the Sabres, they had that and just missed.
Are we going back to Buffalo now?
Maybe. But, I think Montreal reminds me of that Sabres team that just missed, where all of these guys had career seasons in one go. That, what does regression sort of look like there?
He's
Like,
not
not
wrong.
everybody is going to
They
repeat.
added Bolduc, they added Dobson, like they
And I
just
like
didn't
that.
stick with the
That's what they did different than the Sabres and the Red Wings, that they went out and had a great offseason. Bolduc, I thought, was really under the radar, and obviously Noah Dobson, that's arguably their number one defenseman.
Yeah.
So
if that sophomore slump that Cody always talks about, Blaine Hudson, they have insulated him if he does have a slump to be able to get out of it.
But which is the real Noah Dobson? Is it the 70-point 23-24 year? Or is it the 30-point last year?
Oh, it's not last year. He can't be.
I think it's somewhere in the middle. It's the boring answer.
It sure as hell could be.
I don't know, Cody. Cody gets into this with me with D rankings all the time, Jonah. He was ranked top 10, top 12 defenseman in the league. I'm not
there anymore, but
I think after last season, you have to take a step back. But he was on the fringes of the Norris conversation 2 years ago. That's why I don't know. Like I said, something about Montreal. Like, my hot take I think by Christmas, like, Marty St. Louis could be gone.
Wow.
Like, especially in that city. Like, if they get off to a slow start, he got kind of close last year before they turned it around.
That's why I think he's past that, because he's gone through that already. That's my take.
People thought Dom Granado was past that. And it's just the same.
And on the Detroit front that Jonah mentioned, you're right, Jonah. I'm totally with you. But I do like Todd McClellan, and I think he can maintain something there where their floor is a little bit higher than some of the other teams.
I agree. Yeah. I agree there.
But with Buffalo, it's just, we'll see. It's so many I don't know. But here's the thing.
It's, as an outsider fan, Jonah, it's interesting to see Buffalo, what they will become this year.
Just don't lose 13 in a row this year, and you'll maybe have a shot.
That's been the story every year, aside from maybe 2 years ago. Like, just one bad losing streak every year. It's what it is.
But here's the thing. Last in the Atlantic Division is like 6th place in any other division or 5th place in any other division. I got to get that out there because this is probably the toughest division in hockey. So let's gotta get that out. But Jonah, where can everyone find you? I mean,
thank you for your time.
Yeah, no, this was a blast. I thank you guys for inviting me on. If you want more of me, you can head over to the Sabre Report. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, TikTok, we're on YouTube. If you want to follow our podcast, Sabre Report Podcast, that's on all listening platforms on YouTube. If you want to follow me on Twitter at TSR_Jonah on Twitter. It was fun to talk about, fun to get an outside perspective, see what you guys kind of think about the team, because, we are in our own little echo chamber. Nobody gives us that much attention. We're all just kind of fighting our own battles in the fan base and stuff like that.
We were there.
Buffalo Sabres fan base. It's a fun read.
We were there. Trust me. We were there. As I watched the Cincinnati Reds die on national television.
What's the score? I saw Tony let things off.
5-0.
Oof, yeah.
Teoscar 3-run shot really just blew things open.
The Reds remind me of the Sabres, man, just like that miracle run. That's all I'm asking for.
But it's it was 5-0 after the third. It's kind of cooked now. But anyway, Jonah, we appreciate having you on. I mean, love the energy, love the confidence in Buffalo, because someone's got to have confidence in this team. Someone does. I mean,
we got to fight our battles.
Listen, we were there not too long ago, so that's why I try and just stay with this voice, because we were there. We were deep in there, Kirby, weren't we?
No, we definitely were. But appreciate your time, Jonah. Join us over on our post-game show over on the X platform, and you catch us over there as well. So
yeah,
all right.
Always. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thanks, Jonah.
Thanks again, guys. Have a good night.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. But anyway, boys, as we wrap up, shout out to Lou and Jonah for hopping on with us tonight. Tomorrow night is the last of the divisional team preview.
Outside the Florida one, which we have Armando Velez from Locked On Florida Panthers going to be joining us end of the weekend. So before the season starts. But we do have Ottawa. Yes, Sunday. We do have Ottawa tomorrow and Sunday for the Panthers. Everyone's always asking, when are you guys going to do the Panthers? I think it was kind of good that we waited for the Panthers.
It's either Sunday or Monday. We play Tuesday, Nick.
Yeah. Sunday.
Freaking 5 o'clock on a Tuesday. Good job, NHL. You guys are brilliant.
I worked during that too. That's going to be fun.
The schedule is, and we're just starting.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The people over there. I mean, what is that? 5 o'clock on a Tuesday for the defending Cup champion?
I mean, last year was what? because last year we played.
I think last year made less sense.
5 o'clock on a Tuesday. There's no reason it should
Why
do
does
that.
Why does Seattle get the first game of the season when they're in the Pacific time zone? That doesn't make sense.
You know what's
Why?
funny?
They do know people work, right?
You know what's funny? That was on a Tuesday too.
You hear it the most when Eastern Standard Time gets screwed over.
That was on a Tuesday or a Thursday. It was one of those.
5
days.
o'clock's a great time, right, Kirby?
No, I'm just saying you guys get the better schedule.
Well, you better be ready at 3 p.m., buddy. All right.
You should listen to what Vancouver Canucks fans say.
Hey, I gotta work during the game, so that's gonna suck.
And you hear it all the time when Kirby has to wake up at 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Like
for
what?
a game.
Speaking of Jonah and Buffalo, like Lex has to watch the game at 10. I have to watch at 11. That's crap.
Yeah, that's when Kirby.
That's not Saturday talk.
And that's when
Beef
Kirby.
Cat, there's no need to be sad. We got Anton Lundell.
Like,
We're all right.
No, next
all right.
year.
Like who's
We'll
sad?
be all right.
Oh, certainly.
That'll be fine. Anton
We'll be all
Lundell,
right, guys. Come
Selke
on.
candidate this year. Like,
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean,
On the way out, let's plug stuff. What do we got?
what is there to plug? New episode just came out yesterday, episode 59.
Yeah.
Please pay attention to the contest rules. I beg you. I beg you. I beg you. Me and Kirby beg you.
Yes.
Thank you.
There they are.
Beg you.
We'll
Thank
keep
you.
plugging it for a week or two just to make sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
my goodness, we
I
can't
had
make it any more clear.
I got some entries today, but yes, please follow the instructions.
Please.
And show us when you send it into, if anyone's listening to this late on, please send it so I can see it has been reviewed and submitted. You guys are sending me just the screen. I'm like, okay, fine. But I need to see where the 5 stars say submitted or whatever. So
Yeah.
you have to have an account on Spotify, Apple, sign in and appreciate the 5 stars.
But as we log off, because Kirby's got power rankings to write. So
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Porno, baby.
Yeah, our fantasy hockey league's kicking off now. Our fantasy football league's well underway, a month in here. Live stream tomorrow night with Ottawa. We've got the Florida one coming up. We've got a guest or two booked coming up as well on the Cats Rats podcast. Make sure to follow us here on YouTube. Turn your notifications on. Check your settings.
But once again,
Oh, and the NFL should fix its tie system. It's a little horse shit. Stayed up to 1 a.m.
I grew up in the ties in the NFL.
Stayed up to 1 a.m. or midnight, excuse me, to find out a result that I could have just looked at the beginning of the night. We were at the same point we were at 8:20, so I don't get it. But you know what? As long as we get to
it was a Dak legacy game.
oh, give me a fucking
Just like last night was a Darren Waller legacy game.
A Darren Waller game. Yeah. There we go.
Shout out Sauce
Oh,
Gardner.
and for the
I
Cincinnati
would pump the brakes on beating the New York Jets.
Cincinnati Bengals. Zach Taylor needs to figure it out because
Hey,
it's
Jeremy.
bad.
Beck sells FLA.
It's called
You
it's
can't
J-Bo time.
You can't waste the season
It's
on a
Jameis Winston, or how
Go
about this?
get
Why
the
don't
FSU guy. Don't even pull
It's
up the
J-Bo
crap.
time.
He's not
it's
even that
Jameis Winston time, Kirby? I hate to break it to you.
Or Kirk Cousins, I heard too. That's not bad.
No, get
They can't
J-Bo.
afford him.
No, get J-Bo.
I think Russ is third for the Bengals.
J-Bo is way more entertaining.
Yeah, I mean he's
He
gonna
will
get
throw-
Chase and Higgins the ball.
He will throw them the ball. He'll throw a pick, and guess what? He'll still throw on the ball. He don't care.
Listen,
That's- we have a
fantasy
lot- we
production
have a
would be
lot
pretty
of-
good
we have
for
a
them,
lot of
actually.
Bengals fans in our community. So.
It's J-Bo time. Like, let's go. And I mean,
We need Jameis Winston. Like I'm telling you, I'm not even a Bengals fan. I have Jamar Chase on my fantasy team. Please, I cannot watch this much longer. I am like, this is becoming a full-time job managing
Well, you
around
watched it
this
last night. 'Cause
bullshit.
me and Cody were recording, so I didn't have to watch that Gong show.
Okay, this has become a full-time. I didn't even watch it.
hey,
I
NFL. you
watched like
should've-
the fourth quarter. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what the hell?
Hey, listen. The Dolphins won. That's all I care about. 1 week at a time. Don't care. Really don't.
Cody, you're
I
away.
beg you, I can't watch Jake Browning for another week.
Cody, you're away tomorrow, but Nick, you're going to be joining me on the Ottawa.
Yes.
Yes, but
We got
Like,
real good.
they have a really good guest coming in tomorrow. Fortunately, some restrictions have not allowed me to come in tomorrow, but hey, it'll be just fine. They can hold the fort.
There we go.
Like I trust these guys right here. You know what I'm
Hopefully,
saying?
hopefully.
But trust all you guys and whoever you guys bring up.
It's not claiming he's Barkov now. Stop. It's not saying
Certain guys on treadmills, I'll just leave it there.
I'm not a Barkov, but I'm a Reinhardt. I'm a little glue guy. I'm a glue guy. That's what Kirby's called me. I'm a glue guy.
Oh yeah, you are.
I'm the Kachuk. I'm a glue
I
guy.
ride with glue guys.
But anyway, thank you for everyone watching. Please
Kirby's tape.
Subscribe, leave a comment. What are y'all's Atlantic Division?
Oh, I got a good comment intersection before I go. Someone mentioned JJ Pajot to the Panthers. That's a good one. Can't remember the guy's name. Sorry for the show, but good comment.
I said that name like one of the first things. Nick's like, I don't want JG Pajot.
I don't want him either. I'd rather go down with the guys we have than make a trade for that guy.
I think Pajot's above like a Roslovic.
Could you imagine him as a 4C though? That'd be amazing.
Oh, one more healthy. Yeah.
But anyway, appreciate everyone joining us tonight. And as always, let's go Cats.
What's up, Cats and Rats fans? If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button before you head out. If you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. And just like always, let's go Cats.